It's very hard for us to come to some conclusion today that perhaps our children will not live as well as we do. That we are not on a straight line to the top of the graph.
Do you have your unemployment card, sir?
Goodbye, 1980, and good riddance. It was an unkind, contentious year, a year of rude awakenings.
Everyone's more concerned about the country now. We got problems overseas, and everybody's stabbing a knife in our back, you know.
Russians in Afghanistan, and maybe next in Poland. The hostages still in Iran. And little Japanese cars all over the place. Reminders that America isn't what it used to be.
It used to be the Motor City. Detroit was the Motor City. Detroit, yeah. Now on the news is Tokyo, the Motor City.
Americans cannot be the best in every area. You have to allow other people to be pretty good in some areas.
But it was hard to count blessings. The calendar was so full of disappointments for a man in New Jersey who couldn't buy a house.
You hear rumors that by the year 2000 that only the rich will be able to afford houses. I really got a first-hand taste of whoever said that, and as far as I'm concerned, was 100% correct.
And a man in Texas who just lost his in a hurricane.
I've been through a lot of storms, but this one, well, I just don't know, but I'll tell you, it was awful I ever seen in my life. I feel like crying, you know. See.
For a volleyball player in Colorado who never got to the Moscow Olympics.
It just seems like sometimes now, being an athlete, I feel kind of like the bad guy, you know?
Sometimes it was the forces of nature that seemed to be ganging up on Americans. Sometimes the forces were more unnatural if you lived next door to a nuclear reactor in Pennsylvania.
I've lost a sense of security since then, too, in my own home. I don't really feel comfortable in it. I don't feel that I can relax and enjoy myself anymore. Always in the back of my mind, I have this feeling, well, am I going to have to pick up and go, or is there radiation outside?
Or if you faced the prospect of living next to a nuclear missile in Nevada.
How would they know whether it was Ken and me chasing our cattle up to a missile site or a Russian? You know, how are they going to differentiate? There's no way. So it's essentially going to have to fence us off for security.
In truth, a lot of Americans felt fenced off in 1980. For example, a lot of black Americans in the big cities, Miami and Orlando and Chattanooga. Things haven't changed very much in America's inner cities, but the people who live there have changed. This past summer was a warning to the rest of America. Stop, look, and listen.
See, we got a generation of very proud poor people now. You know, it was a time when taking welfare wasn't bad. Taking welfare for these kids is dehumanizing to the degree that they don't want it.
There's only but so much clean air, good food, decent places to live. You expect that after we have worked and sweated, we're the original boat people, that we're going to just allow for other people to come in and take up those resources and remain quiet. That's a dream.
Americans felt out of sorts in 1980, and they took it out on whoever was handy, usually each other. Iowans argued over politics.
Be fair about it. I am. We've lost votes. You've lost votes. People have left. People left. All right, then let's take a true count. That's what I want.
Ladies in the trenches. Even that could set off husband and wife.
I, for one, do not think they should ever serve in combat.
Background, they have the training, they could go into the trenches tomorrow, if need be.
All right, here's where we separate. Because I do not believe that women should ever serve in combat.
Why?
There were some new arrivals. And Americans took it out on them.
I can't get a job because I don't speak Spanish. They complain about the damn unemployment rate, and yet we're bringing people over here, giving them the damn jobs.
We're the American people, and we pay the money, we pay the taxes, and we support these people, and we're fed up.
The North took it out on the South, Frost Belt versus Sun Belt.
People are driving down to Florida by the thousands. Why? To pick the oranges and grapefruits and live in that sunny climate, and they want to come up here and grab this money away from those freezing people in New England? I'm surprised.
They heeded the call of the gold rush craze, hordes of men in the early days.
And Alaskans took it out on everybody else.
Here we're a state. We're supposed to be equal with the other states in the Union. But we feel more like a colony who's being exploited by some outside interests. And so we don't really have government by the people, not by our people.
Leave us the hell alone. We know what we're doing. We're happy.
John Anderson, candidate for president.
Campaign 80 played to a very cranky audience. For the politicians, it was better to be out than in. The electorate took it out on the elected with a vengeance. Teddy Kennedy booed on the streets of Chicago, of all places. And there were times when it seemed as if someone had put a hex on the White House and the man in it.
It was my decision to attempt the rescue operation. It was my decision to cancel it when problems developed in the placement of our rescue team for a future rescue operation. The responsibility is fully my own.
And the consequences. In 1980, Americans voted to try to change their luck. It wasn't always easy.
I had my mind made up to vote for Carter till I came across his name on the ballot. Then I just got paralyzed. I couldn't make a move. I couldn't see how I could give a man a vote that didn't do the job.
You were right in the voting booth.
That's right. And I'm still a Democrat.
Are you and your family more secure after 4 years of Jimmy Carter?
So now it's Ronald Reagan's turn to come up with some different answers, and it's certainly not hopeless. America still has lots of saving graces. We ran across a few of them just to prove that 1980 was not a complete write-off.
For example, an Olympic gold medal in hockey, proving to the Russians and the Japanese that, yes, America is still pretty good in some areas. For example, Herbie Shields, a street kid from Baltimore, who is off the streets thanks to a new job program and is going to join the Marines.
I think I have the best shot right now at it. Because before, I didn't have nothing. Nothing really. But right now, I have something.
For example, Eduardo Marrero and his wife and baby, who came over on the boat from Cuba. America won't have to worry about that.
They came over here to work, not to lace around. And as my wife, relatives, and I was excited before and more excited now because they live their own life now and they're happy.
People and places. All the wild and wonderful parts of this country Americans gave to each other this year. The national park system is now this much bigger and this much more beautiful. So there is that, and some advice we collected from a few people we talked to. As you'll see, they all say pretty much the same thing. In some, it's not a bad prescription for 1981.
If you look at it this way, we got through yesterday, didn't we? We didn't pass out, we didn't die, and hopefully we'll get through today. We're going to try to, and hopefully we'll get through tomorrow, so just take it a day at a time.
We have to start all over again because we can't quit. If you quit, you're done. So there's nothing else to do but to start again and hope Lord to help us and this doesn't happen again.
I think man through life, through centuries, have struggled for individual dignity and individual human rights. And I think we're on the right side. I think if we stick to our principles, and we're going to win out in the long run, but it's not easy.
I want a great big hug from my dad. And until then, you know, we'll all keep going, and the 4th of July is sort of like Christmas. It's one more landmark, and once we get there and pass it, it'll be a little bit closer to getting him home. And until then, we'll hang in there.